In this episode of Negative Modifier, we were playing the game Kult Divinity Lost. Kult Divinity Lost by design involves content, themes, and situations that may be uncomfortable or triggering for some listeners, and is most definitely not suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised, and we really do mean that this time.
Hey there, Charlie here. On behalf of the whole cast and crew of Negative Modifier, thanks for giving us a listen. If you enjoy the episode, please consider giving us a rating or reviewing us on your listening platform of choice, or liking this episode if you're enjoying this on YouTube. It only takes a few seconds and helps us find new people to inflict our signature brand of madness upon. If you want to support the show, consider supporting us on Patreon. And if you're looking to chat with the cast, other listeners, or get the most up-to-date news about the podcast, check out our Discord channel. Both are linked down below in the show notes. And with that all said... Jumping to Officer Kostrov. What's going through your head right now? All of this has been impossible. Like, you've been told to track down Franklin Mills, something you've tried to do once in theory inside the Cenobia before. Is this exhilarating? Is this terrifying? Like, what mental state is Kostrov in at this point?
I'm definitely shaken up at the idea that, like, she had shown up in the text photo. So, like, right now, my focus is, like, I can't lose my family. I can't lose them, especially losing them in a way, potentially, that, like, what I saw happen with, like, Franklin and everything else. Like, it's freaking me the fuck out.
Do you want to try calling your family, maybe? See if they're okay? Like, she might just be messing with you for all you know.
Actually, you know what I want to do is, now that I've left there, I want to check the photo again.
Oh, it's still very much the same photo.
But, like, she's still in the photo?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try to call my wife.
All right. The phone rings 3 times, and you hear it pick up. There's no hello or anything at first. What do you do?
I just kind of start talking. Hello? Hey? Hello?
Officer Kostrov, the ever-concerned family man. If this wasn't so pathetic, it might be admirable. Don't you have more important things to focus on right now?
I do, but my family needs to be safe. I'll bring you Franklin, but you have to not touch them.
Oh, I understand, Officer Kostrov. Mr. Kostrov? Aiden, are we close enough for us to be on a first-name basis?
You can call me Kostrov.
Standoffish, I see how it is. Yes, you find my son, my horrible, naughty son, and give him to me. Drown him in the water of the engine room, and your family will be fine.
Do you want him dead or alive?
I don't know how one survives drowning, typically, Kostrov.
I'm going to hang up this phone, and I'm just, like, pacing at this point. I'm going to hang up this phone. I'm going to call back. And if my wife doesn't answer, you'll never get Franklin. I will actively work to get you Franklin, but my family has to be off limits until I'm done.
Oh, indeed they are, Kostrov. I'm just saying. Time is of the essence. It'd be a shame if the detective or the doctor were to beat you to this. If you're not the one to do this, I can't promise your family will be okay.
I hang up the phone. I wait about 10 seconds, and then I call it back.
No signal.
At this point, I, like, put the phone in my pocket. I'm like, fuck. And then I just start, like, I don't know where I'm going to start searching, but I just start heading towards some direction in the ship.
All right, so how are you going about trying to find Franklin Mills?
I'm just kind of looking right now. Like, I don't even know exactly where I am on the ship. So I'm just going to kind of, like, the way somebody would work their way through a maze is just kind of start looking around.
Sure. Makes sense. Yeah, give me an investigate to that.
Okay. Partial success.
All right, you get to ask me one question on this one that'll kind of help you along with this. What you gonna go with?
Can I hear anybody else, like, within range, or am I just completely alone where I am right now?
You don't hear anyone else, but you do off in the distance or kind of echoing through the hallways hear the loud screech of a door being opened. You try and navigate to that sound?
Yeah, I'll just head directly towards there.
Perfect. Detective Jenner.
Hi.
You're back on the Cenobia. You're in the belly of the Cenobia, if you will. What's going through your head at this point?
A mix of confusion, determination, and a little bit of fear. Whatever is going on, Jenner has sort of decided to embrace the strangeness of everything.
Sure.
And Jenner fully believes that Franklin Mills deserves to be punished for what he's done, but not by whoever or whatever has found us. So Jenner wants to find Franklin so that he can go to jail and rot in prison where everybody he hurt can see. So she's determined to find him to make that happen. Now, she's not going to act like that's why she's trying to find him, but she's hoping she can find him and get him out before one of the other two kill him or bring him back to Martha. So she's got a little bit of confidence, and for a moment she takes out her flask to take a drink, but weighing the levity of the situation, she just slips it back into her jacket before taking a drink. Will draw her gun and head into the Zenobia, particularly going to look where she arrested Franklin Mills.
All right. Yeah, so as you're kind of making your way there, you eventually pass through what was one point kind of the mess hall of the ship. There's tables that have been turned over and are starting to show they're stained with mildew and rot and stuff like that. And sitting at one of the tables, just kind of patiently sitting there, is Lydia Gibbs, and standing next to her is Martha Mills again. Felicia, you left before we had a chance to fully talk about things, I suppose. She gestures at one of the kind of decaying chairs. Sit down. We have so much to talk about quickly. You do have a moment, don't you?
All right. But just a moment. You want me to find Franklin? I gotta get moving.
I understand, but Lydia's told me so much about you, and I wanted to make sure that you're clear on what you need to do here. This isn't just running over a child, after all. This is...
Fuck you.
May I offer you a way to atone for that mistake?
She doesn't say anything, but she walks into the room.
Yep.
She still has the gun drawn, but it is close to her chest, and the muzzle's pointed towards the ground.
Yep. If you deliver Franklin to me, I will return William to you. And as an added bonus, kind of pinches Lydia's cheek a little too roughly, you get to go back with Lydia as well. All it takes is for you to bring me my son. You don't even have to bring me him. Looks at the gun. You just have to use that on him if you so wish. You could also drown him, stab him, strangle him, push him down some stairs, put a cigarette in one of his eyes. The choice is really yours, I suppose, but I believe I'm getting my point across.
So Detective Jenner will say, look, I don't care what sick fucking fantasy you have for Franklin. I will do whatever you want me to if you let Lydia go now. You let her go right fucking now, I will go kill Franklin for you, and then I'll take William back too.
How about this? For now, I'll let you play big sister to Lydia here, and she can tag along with you on this. Does that suffice?
How does Lydia look right now? Does she look like alive, or what's the state of the child?
She's very silent, but by all other measures, she looks fine at quick glance. She hasn't said a word yet, though, or anything like that. She just kind of nods and smiles and whatnot along with all this stuff around her.
Jenna kind of turns her head to look at Lydia. She says, are you okay?
She nods.
You want to come with me?
She nods again.
Okay. Come here.
Yeah, she kind of jumps up and starts following you.
Jenna will pick her up in one arm and holster the gun.
All right.
Okay, let's go. We're going to get you home, okay?
I'm assuming you leave the room at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you leave the room carrying Lydia and make your way towards where you initially had your showdown with Franklin. Using kind of anything special to try and track him or anything like that, or you're just trying to make your way there as kind of a base point and you'll go from there?
I want to go where he was arrested initially.
Sure.
And then I want to kind of backtrack from there.
Makes sense. Keep returning to the scene of the crime and whatnot.
Yeah. Franklin did a lot of really messed up stuff there, so after seeing all the weird stuff that's going on, I want to see if the more sane side of him is going back to try and like rationalize what he's done.
Sure. Makes sense. All right. So, we're going to kind of jump around real quick right now as you guys all are trying to track down Franklin Mills. You all kind of successfully make it to points that you feel pretty confident that Franklin has been through recently. Either there's signs of kind of like footmarks in the muck on the ground or whatnot. Like you've seen signs of Franklin coming through here, and you all feel pretty confident you all have a bit of a lead on him. You've not encountered each other yet, though. What are people doing from here? Like, what are you trying to do to kind of narrow down on where Franklin is? You're not sure if he's actively hiding or just trying to keep in constant motion.
I think so. He's been in constant motion. If we stop and listen, or if I stop and listen, do I hear like movement through the boat? Any echoing or anything like that?
Give me an observe a situation.
16 success.
All right. So let's remember that 16 for a second.
So I get to ask 2 questions, right?
Yep. Indeed you do.
So I imagine that before we executed or probably post-raid on this, that I've seen deck plans for the Zenobia. Where do I think would be a good place, or knowing Franklin too, where do I think would be the place he would go to hide?
If you had to guess, it's less about hiding and probably more about escape at this point with Franklin. And while swimming away from Zug Island is probably a bad idea, using the water to escape the Zenobia, that's actually not such a bad idea, especially because once you get down deep enough into the ship, it's basically the ocean. And rather than having to kind of go back up, work your way across the ship, you could just kind of swim out and make your way around the island back to the road or something like that and possibly escape that way. So if you had to guess, he's probably deeper in the ship towards the more sunken parts of it.
Do I think that from the outside, if I were to leave the ship, do I think from the outside I might be able to catch him as he leaves the ship from the sunken parts?
Anything's possible. You'd have to be in the water, though, to catch him. Like, the parts that are most sunk are not really near land or the wharf. So maybe you could see him, but you wouldn't be able to do much, probably.
Great. I'm going to put Lydia on my back, and I'm going to head down to where I think he is.
Sure.
So it says I get a +1 when I act on these, so I'll have a +1. Okay, cool.
Yep. Officer Kostroff.
Mm-hmm.
How are you progressing your hunt for Franklin Mills?
I am kind of a wreck in this situation because I'm obviously panicking because my family is potentially at risk here.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of like looking around, seeing the first person I can find. In my mind, being told the line of like, you have to be the one to turn in Franklin and not someone else has also kind of like got me to the point where maybe like I may have to knock out the other 2 because I don't want to lose this, because I don't want to lose my family. But yeah, as far as my search goes,
it sounds like I should give me a keep it together first.
Okay. Partial success.
All right, so how does this escalate, I guess? Do you become angry? Do you become scared? What way are your emotions taking you at this point? I suppose you'll also be haunted by this experience at a later time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably definitely haunted by it right now.
Sure. Yeah.
So yeah, I guess. So I remember I was heading towards that noise. Have I gotten closer? Is the noise still like happening, or like
you said, you have a pretty good idea that you're in the right spot, give or take. Like Franklin definitely came through here recently. How do you kind of continue this along?
Well, I mean, I'm definitely obviously like trying to like keep it together. And I'm like still kind of failing at it because I'm frantic.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if I find any kind of sign, I'm like, I get like heightened excited, but like, because like I'm getting like not excited in a good way, but like heightened excited because like I'm getting closer and closer. Like, okay, there's signs, there's hope that I'm gonna win this and I'm gonna be able to save my family.
All right. So, but like, how are you going about trying to track Franklin at this point? Like, you looking for clues? You looking for more sounds? Like, what are you?
Footsteps, sounds, claw marks at this point, like anything that can show that's like wouldn't naturally be settling on a ship that's kind of abandoned at this point. It seems
Sure.
like yeah, that's what I'm just looking around for.
Yeah, give me an observe a situation.
All right. Oh shit! I rolled a 4 failure.
Yeah, it's hard to navigate through this ship. It's kind of keeping track of sounds, and given your somewhat frantic state, it makes a certain amount of sense. It's hard to keep track of these things. Dahamre, how are you feeling at this point? How are you proceeding?
I am firing on all cylinders because I am now on survival mode, mixed in with the fact that like I have what I see as a definitive, I got myself this far into it, I can still get out alive as well as complete my goal. Not as thorough as I would like ideally, but you know what? Fuck it. I still have my hard cam and I still have my cell phone.
Sure.
Who knows? That shit might be on the cloud, if anything else. But I am going to be hunting down Franklin using the best of my knowledge and the best of my research in terms of a psychological profile, judging by the events that took place in terms of Franklin's murder spree as well as just a little spree of terror. While he does do pre-planning, a lot of it seems to be more spur of the moment or opportunistic behaviors rather than it being like a fully solidified plan. So I think about what opportunities could he get from the ship. I don't think that he's going to try to kill us or anything else like that, because ideally he just wants to get away from his mother, who's made her presence known. Well, he just kept talking about it and then made her presence known now. And so it's like, all right, what is he going to be doing to leave, and how does he go about doing so? My thought process would be he wouldn't try to escape from the top, just because that doesn't seem to be kind of the direct route he would go. But I don't know how he would try to navigate the bottom, so I'm kind of using my instinct, I guess, to make my decision of whether or not I should try to go up on top or just kind of continue pursuing what I can see so far.
It sounds like you're trying to kind of like use what you know about Franklin against him, hypothetically.
Yes, I'm trying to kind of predict his behavior through my the observations that I've already made.
Yeah. Give me a read a person.
Success, 17.
All right. Yeah, kind of piecing together what you do and don't know about Franklin, kind of the situation, and obviously what Martha has bestowed upon you information-wise. You feel pretty confident that he's going to try and escape. And on your way in, you saw that probably the easiest way for him to escape would actually be to go deeper into the ship and then kind of swim out through it one way. It makes a certain amount of sense, despite Franklin being, as best you can tell, unhinged and a terrible person. He's not dumb, and he has very good survival instincts, and he would understand the idea of being able to kind of escape out through the water and kind of circle around the island and probably make his way back to civilization that way, and that the water would provide him a certain level of cover that just trying to get out across the boat would not. And you remember seeing some place that kind of would line up with that on your way in, too. I'm assuming you make your way there?
Yes, I will be headed my way there. All the while, I'm going to use what I would think is the psychological edge on trying to make him slip up, kind of cause him distress, by mentioning, like, Martha, or like, you know how that there's in Nightmare Before Christmas, like 1-2, Freddy's coming for you.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to rework that, like the 1-2, Martha's coming for you, 3-4, she's going to lock that door, 5-6, I don't know. I don't know what's around with 6.
Nah, sure.
Yeah. I'm going to be I'm going to be taunting him and agitating him, or using agitating language in order to kind of rile him up and hopefully make him slip.
Yeah. All right, so good news, since you rolled the highest out of all the people trying to track him down, you are the first to find Franklin Mills. You're racing through some hallways, and you kind of see a door slightly ajar, and you push it open, and you find yourself in what was probably a small room, but because of the partial sinking of the ship and kind of just rust and the decay of the situation, you find yourself in kind of a large, sloping down to the water gently space. One might call it almost kind of like a dock or something, but was never intended to be that. It's just kind of part of the ship that's caved into it to make this kind of accidental ramp. And standing about 4 feet away from the water is Franklin Mills, kind of looking up, slight incline at you, kind of surprised and a bit panicked. Doc, just let me go.
I can't let you go. You've been a very bad boy. And Martha says that you need your punishment.
You don't bring that bitch up into this. You stay the fuck away from me, Doc.
Like I said, you've been a very bad boy. 1-2, Martha's coming for you.
All right, so what do you do at this point? You kind of charge him? Do you...
I am going to slowly approach him and just kind of prepare myself for any kind of movements he's doing.
Are you trying to position yourself so, like, to cut off his way of escaping into the water or anything like that?
I guess I want to try to position myself in a means of advantage, because whether or not I have, like I have this knife, and it's going to be an interesting struggle if he's going to be in the water or anything else like that. But also, there's the whole water aspect too, and like I could just drown him, or I could just get to him or whatnot. So I guess I'm just going to position myself where I could have like the best of options. Like I'm not trying to cut him off, but I'm just trying to make sure that's like, if he dives in the water, I could reach him. If he bolts for the door, I could reach him.
Yeah, I getcha. Give me an observe the situation as you're kind of trying to position yourself effectively in the room.
15 success.
You notice he has picked up a chunk of pipe somewhere, so he is not completely unarmed. Or you get to ask me 2 questions now.
Hell yeah. What can I use to my advantage?
Franklin needs to escape, so positioning yourself kind of like as you're already doing in a way that you can react to his escape will force him to fight you, which maybe isn't the best idea, but the chance, like, he's managed to elude you up to this point. He's probably going to try and go for the water, which will not be the fastest of escapes, but you don't have a ranged kind of option to deal with him at that point. At the same time, if he's in the water, you could potentially sneak up and drown him or something, though, as you kind of alluded to earlier.
All right. And then I love how this is like the first question. It's like, what is my best way through this? I guess I'm asking, what's my best way through this? It seems like the water aspect seems like the best gambit.
Yeah, and I'd say even maybe a lie to Franklin to lure him into a sense of security in the situation might be a benefit in this situation.
A lie to Franklin would be the best situation.
Maybe that you're letting him go or something. Like a shrug being like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Okay.
There's no benefit to Franklin to fighting you. He just wants to be out of here.
After kind of looking at the pipe and just kind of looking at the knife and looking at myself, I'm going from kind of squared up to just kind of a half relaxed sort of thing, or half relaxed sort of pose. Shit. There's really no way out of this for me, is there? But you can still probably go. I'm fucked.
Yeah, she can't see me, Doc. Just let me go. I mean, nothing's stopping you from escaping either.
You're right. But how do I know that you're not gonna use this moment to attack me? I know you're holding a pipe.
Yeah, and you're holding a knife, which I don't want to know where the fuck you got that one from, but tell you what, I'm gonna start backing up towards the water, and when I hit the water, you put your knife down, and then I'll turn around and start swimming away.
When you hit the water, you put your pipe down.
Kind of hard to swim with a pipe, so yeah, perfect.
I raise both my hands, and I gingerly hold the knife with like my forefinger and my thumb.
Sure.
I just kind of show my hand on that. Go. I gotta save my ass somehow.
So he starts to slowly back towards the water. Eventually, one of his feet hits it, and he kind of, at that point, bends down, puts the pipe down, and kind of looks at you.
I have the knife in my hand, just kind of between my forefingers. I grip it and I throw it at him.
All right, give me an act under pressure.
Success with a 20.
All right, let's do some engage in combat then.
Hell yeah. Failure.
All right, so the good news, the knife hits him and he's stunned. The bad news, you kind of threw it bad, so it didn't really hit him in a useful way, but kind of like he's a little bit shocked, it hit him type of thing, probably taking a little bit off balance. What do you do?
I rush him.
All right. Just run down and hit him, basically?
Run down and, like, hit him.
What's the end goal for this?
I'm going to... It's just going to be a struggle. This is straight up just a raw struggle. There's a knife in him now, so at least I have that advantage where he's just now been stabbed. But whether or not I can get advantage of him or whatever the heck have you, play with the injury or anything else like that, or exacerbate the injury if I can get my hands on that knife and kind of do a little bit more. But really, this is just straight up like primal Dr. Drama.
Sure. Yeah, so I will give you an engage in combat with a +2 on it because of your rolls earlier and the situation of it all.
Engaging in combat with a situational modifier of +2, 17 success.
All right. Yeah, so what do? You hit him hard.
So I hit him hard, and I'm hoping that kind of hit drove the knife deeper.
Oh, the knife kind of bounced off him. Like, it didn't, like, embed it in him. The throw wasn't that good. Yeah.
Okay. Well, with me hitting him hard, I plan to, because it's not, like, deep water just quite yet, I still have my footing. I want to ideally get him on his stomach, because all I need to do is just cover his face in water.
Sure. Yeah.
So I want to make a state, like, kind of get myself stabilized and just kind of get him and his face in the water, because at that point in time, he's going to have to focus on not drowning rather than him trying to throw me.
Sure. No, yeah, and you successfully do. You kind of like, do you tackle him? Do you kind of like gut check him? How do you make contact with Franklin?
With that contact, I'm rushing forward and I just knee him in the groin to kind of further kind of knock him and his senses out. And ideally, I want him to kind of expel as much air out of his lungs as possible.
Sure.
From there, I'm going to throw him down and get on top of him on his back. And I'm going to do my best to try to restrain his arms and then lay as much pressure as I can on his neck, forcing his face into the water.
Sure. Yeah, you successfully do all of that, and kind of Franklin fights and flails against this. Detective Jenner, you burst through the door at the top of this ramp, and you see a very strange scene. You see Dr. DeHamre kind of half holding, half sitting on top of Franklin Mills in not shallow water, but also definitely not deep water. Like, if she wasn't there, water that would have posed no danger to Franklin whatsoever. His motions are starting to slow down some. He potentially has seconds left to live, potentially. What do?
I shoot DeHamre.
All right. Let's see an engage in combat.
Do I have any bonuses since she does not know that I'm there?
I'll give you a +1.
And then would I be using the +1 forward for this as well?
Yep.
Successful attack of 20.
All right. Dr. DeHamre, let's see an endure injury.
Endure injury? Yeah, baby, how much harm is getting shot?
What's the gun do? It's 3 or something? 2 or 3?
Harm 2.
Arm 2, baby. Failure. I am either knocked out. The GM may also give me a serious wound. I receive a critical wound, but may continue to act. If you already have a critical wound, you may not choose this option again. Or die.
I'm going to give you a critical wound. You are bleeding profusely. You just got shot, though, too. Like, you're still kind of managing to hold Franklin Mills under the water, though. There's a bullet that just passed through you from the back type of thing. Give me an act under pressure, though.
Yeah, I'm going to choose to continue acting, and I have partial success. I may do it, but hesitate, delayed, or I must deal with the complication.
All right. Jenner, the doctor is not deterred by being shot just yet. What do?
I just want to chip in real quick. When I get shot, I just let out a ear-piercing screech, and I just start like kind of breathing deeply, and I whip my head around. I do want to yell out, "You bitch, what the fuck?
Get off him now."
It's too late. He's already mine.
I shoot again.
Do you shoot the doctor or do you shoot Franklin?
I shoot the doctor.
All right. See, engage in combat.
15 success. If it helps, I would be aiming not to kill with the second shot, just immobilize.
All right, so let's see an endure injury on that one, Dahamre.
With another 2 hard. All right, so I like hella failed this endure injury, especially seeing as I have this critical wound of a bullet hole in my body. So my options are I can get knocked out, receive a critical wound. Actually, no, I can't receive that because I already have a critical wound, or I could die.
Yeah, so you're going to pass out unconscious and you kind of slump off Franklin Mills' still ever so slightly twitching body, but you are unconscious, kind of now floating in the water next to Franklin Mills, who is doing better than you, but not by a big measure. You have 2 bullet holes through you after all. Detective Jenner, what do?
I will run over and drag Franklin out of the water and begin CPR.
I want to make mention that I'm going to be floating down.
I will grab both of them and drag them out, but I start CPR on Franklin.
Officer Kostroff, you hear quite the commotion from deep in the ship. I'm assuming you kind of follow up on that? You hear gunshots, you hear what sounds like, I don't know, like someone hitting something.
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna head directly there. Like as soon as I started hearing that, I just booked it in that direction.
You emerge from this door and you see an equally confusing scene as what Detective Jenner emerged onto. You see Detective Jenner performing CPR on Franklin Mills, Dr. Dahamre lying face down, bleeding profusely from what you immediately realize is 2 bullet wounds through her. What do?
Can I add to a bit of what you see?
Oh, yeah, sure. Go for it.
Yeah, Jenner is doing CPR, and she stops for a moment and grabs Lydia's hands and places them on one of the bullet wounds on Dahamre and says, "Keep your hands there," and then goes back to doing CPR.
Lydia nods at this. Yeah, so Officer Kostroff, what do you do seeing all this? Oh, I forgot to mention, there's a small girl in a pink little jacket there, too, just there.
Well, at this point, I'm gonna... How bad is Franklin Mills looking?
I mean, he's getting CPR and he's waterlogged. Like, he's not looking good.
Okay. I'm gonna walk over and well, I look over. I mean, I see the doctor. Like I'm like, what the fuck happened here?
He was trying to kill him. But here, help me. She shot twice. Go plug the other wound.
I try to assist.
Do you actually, though?
Can I? Well, how close is the? How close is the gun to? Or I guess where's the? Like, I guess I'm looking for the other gun that was used here in this instance, really quick, because I'm trying to like cop observe, if you will.
What did you do with your gun, Detective Jenner?
She holstered it.
So I guess as I'm heading over, I'm like, where's the gun that they used?
I shot the detective. She was trying to kill him.
Why did you shoot? What? Why? Why? What?
This fucking asshole killed kids He deserves to be in prison so that all the people that he hurt can see justice done, including my partner's family. So fucking help me, Aiden.
And I guess, well, as I'm piecing it together, I'm like, and who the fuck is that? And I point to the little girl.
Her name's Lydia. I will tell you about it once we're out of here. We need to save him. We need to get the other kid, and we need to get the fuck out of here.
Why do you want to save Franklin?
I just told you. He doesn't get to die in some fucking ship without serving out his sentence.
And yet the doctor deserved to die?
She's not dead. I'm trying to save her. If you would help, please.
I'm like bouncing back and forth, and I'm like, all right, fuck it. And I get down to try to help.
Okay. What are you trying to do?
They're doing CPR. Is there anything else? I guess I want to look and see what other like wounds I can assist with, because I from what I can see, obviously little girl's got her hands down on someone, holding down, putting pressure somewhere. I just kind of get close to it. I kneel down, like, okay, what do you want me to do?
Find something to pack the wound with.
I start looking around to see if I can find anything. Is there anything that's available that I can use to like pack the wound? Maybe like some tarp of like something in the ship somewhere, or is it just like I just start looking around because I'm like trying to find anything. Worst case scenario, I'm going to tear off another piece of my shirt at this point.
Sure. Yeah, as you're looking at a text message.
I check my text message as I'm still looking.
It's from Amy. It says, I hope you get to come home soon, dear. We've missed you all day.
I look at this and I'm just like, there's no photo this time. It's just a text message, right?
No photo.
Okay. Text, I'll be home soon.
And you immediately get a text back of, are you sure about that, Aiden?
I start to panic for a second there. I start like, I guess I lose my train of thought, and I'm like, I know I was supposed to be looking for something to help pack the wound, but I'm like, fuck. He's just like bouncing around, just like fuck.
Jenner kind of looking up briefly says, Aiden, fucking hurry.
So at that point, after hearing that, it kind of snaps you back into it. I go ahead and I tear off part of my shirt because I can't find anything. So I'm like, here, and I hand it to Jenner to like help pack the wound.
So Jenner's doing CPR on Franklin. So Jenner just points to the doctor.
All right.
Look, I don't know what's going to happen, but I think that bitch is going to come after us. So we got to get Franklin back on his feet. One of us needs to pick up the doctor, and we need to go. If he got away from her before, we can get away from her too.
And he started like pacing back and forth, like, but she's with my family. My family, like, she's there. Like, and I just start like freaking out and clearly having another like break moment here because I'm remembering like the photo and I'm like freaking out here. I'm like, no, and he's just like in the like swing of panic. I'm going to pull my gun out and I'm going to aim it at Jenner. And I'm just going to say, I'm taking Franklin.
You going to kill me too?
I look at him and I say, if it's between you and my family, I pick my family 100%. Franklin's a piece of shit. Nobody will miss him. Just let me take him.
Aiden, this man killed my partner. He has to pay for that. And it's not going to be because his mother, if that is even her, said we need to bring him to her, kill him. If she had the power to hurt your family, couldn't she just kill him herself? Think about it. Why are we here doing it?
I don't know. I don't care. All I care right now is that I get my family safe. And besides, Franklin killed your partner. Why do you care that if he goes through the justice system, to let him rot? Tears start to come out of Kosov's eyes as he's like saying this. And he just stares at Jenner.
Because I know that he will suffer more in prison. He's a child killer, and he deserves to have that with him for the rest of his life. And I know it will be. Death is too easy for him. He doesn't deserve it.
For all we know, whatever wants him will keep him alive. I don't know. I don't care. But I'm taking him with me. And so after I say that, I pull back the hammer, but I don't pull the trigger yet. So I just pull back the hammer to like emphasize my intent and say, give me Franklin and I'll be out of your hair forever. You'll never see me again.
You take him, then you're condemning her too. She nods over to the kid. You ready to have that kind of blood on your hands like I do? Huh?
I look at him. I don't even know who the fuck that is. Is she another part of the whole thing that's going on here?
Yes. And I need to get her out. But she wants me to kill Franklin, and I'm not going to do that. And if you're going to do it, you're going to have to shoot me too. And then you'll spend the rest of your life in prison.
As he says that, his hand is trembling, holding the gun towards him. He's like, but my family will live.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not sure. I don't know.
Aiden, just put the gun down. You and I, we can walk him out of here. We can save the doctor. We can save this kid. We can go get William. And I promise you, when we're out of here, I'll do whatever I can to help you keep your family safe. But if you do this, do you think your family will ever come to see you? What is this going to look like? I shot someone trying to drown our prisoner, and then you shoot me?
Hearing him, tears come out of his eyes just more intensely. His hand is like shaking, so he's like clearly not aiming properly at Jenner, and he just stares and then points at him again and says, promise me you'll help take care of my family. Make sure they're safe. Promise me. And he's like shaking, like almost like it's a tick at this point, shaking the gun that's pointed at Jenner. Just promise me.
I promise you, I will help you in any way I can.
At this point, Asaf just starts to bawl and he lowers his gun, just lets his arm just fall and sink to the ground, like kind of, and just is standing there bawling for a second. And then he just holsters the gun. He's like, what do you want me to do?
Pack the doctor's wounds.
I get down and start trying to pack the doctor's wounds.
You get a text message.
Ignore it. Just focus.
I ignore it and keep focusing, but I obviously like very much bothered that I can't check the messages right now.
Yeah, give me an act under pressure.
12, partial success.
Yeah, you're doing an okay job of patching up the doctor. Not great given the circumstances, but could be better, could be worse. A couple minutes pass, you get another text message.
I at this point, I'm getting more and more upset at the phone. So I ignore it. And I focus. And I'm like guilt driven, shaking, but just like keeping the pressure on the wound.
All right.
Have I revived Franklin at this point?
Yeah, he's starting to kind of come around at this point, kind of spits up some water, and he's not doing great. Like, he's very much still at death's door by all measures, but like, he's looking around, he's regained some consciousness.
Franklin, I need you to wake up. We need to get out of here.
Where the fuck is here, and what the fuck is going on?
We're on the Zenobia.
Why are we on the Zenobia? We shouldn't be on the Zenobia.
Your mother wants us to kill you. We need to get out.
My mother's dead.
Then whatever that is.
Kind of goes like extra pale despite the fact he was just drowned. It's here.
It's here.
Does she know I'm here?
Yes.
You two didn't tell her where I am, right? Like,
no.
Good. Okay, cool. That means it's still working.
What?
Don't worry about it. Just, cool. Means I'm safe still. Good.
How do we do that for the rest of us?
Kind of pauses, shrugs, and goes, I don't know if you'll believe me or not, but
Just fucking talk, Franklin. I just shot the doctor to save your goddamn life, alright?
well, so then you're kind of like halfway there, I guess. Requires a sacrifice.
Alright, get up. We're going.
Kind of shakily rises to his feet. We're getting out of here. I get to go back to jail now?
Yes.
He seems almost eager at that prospect.
Ostrov, can you pick up the doctor?